What's going on, guys? Welcome to Ajax Reviews. Today we review Urban Legends Final Cut. Directed by John Ottman, a film school is the center of a fresh spate of killings based on urban legends. Urban Legends Final Cut. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I don't remember this movie. I watched it once. I don't remember hating it, and I don't remember loving it. So it's probably right there about average for me at this point in time before, watching it this time. A couple of things that I do remember about this movie is I remember that they used a fencing mask, which I thought was kind of cool. A lot of people that I've discussed this movie with since hated that shit. And I was like, really? Like, that was kind of cool because you couldn't see the face, but I mean, he wasn't obstructed. He could, as a person that likes masks or makes masks or wears masks, I thought the mask was cool. I do remember that they used like a leather jacket and then they did a throwback to the original with putting Rebecca Hart in there at the end. That's about all that I remember. I sat down and I watched this movie back to back right after watching the first one. Me and my daughter, we watched 1, 2, and 3's coming up. We watched all 3 of them. So this is what I thought of Urban Legends Final Cut.
Digital sucks, man. Latex rules.
That's not what your god, George Lucas, says.
George Lucas.
So, after the success of the first Urban Legends movie, it only made sense to make a sequel, continue the story. But that's not really what we got. What we got was a few nods to the original, a couple mentions here and there, and that's about it. This movie really didn't impress me. What I would have liked to have seen was the story from the original continue. Also bring back the creative scenarios in which they did the kills according to the Urban Legends. But this movie didn't really have the creative kills and scenarios like the first film did. As a matter of fact, most of the kills and situations had nothing to do with urban legends. And there was really no reason to have sympathy for the final girl, or any of the other characters for that matter. And keeping with the late 90s to early 2000s formula, they brought in some TV stars. And it seems that the filmmakers were so hard up for name stars, they actually gave Joey Lawrence a job.
Whoa, unbelievable.
The acting, though, wasn't terrible. But no amount of acting is going to make up for the lazy story and situations from this movie. Now, the main reason to watch a movie called Urban Legends is to watch the scenarios unfold into fitting the stories that were told in old urban legends. I mean, hell, it's not like there's a shortage of old urban legends that they could have used. If anything, it seemed like there was a shortage of creativity.
She's no Jamie Lee Curtis, right? But she'll get better.
Young man, that woman's acting would be wretched in a porno film.
So, then what did I like about this movie? The effects were okay. They weren't bad. And the acting was actually pretty strong. I'll give it that. So what did I dislike? The story was just lacking. The urban legends were just barely mentioned and not really used to set up any of the situations or kills. Another thing I didn't like is that the kills were kind of lackluster. There was really nothing to get excited about. Another thing that they did not do, that I don't like, is that there's no tension buildup in this movie. You know what you're going to get, but since they changed the fact that they're going to be using a lot of the urban legends and they use some shitty ones and just kind of mention some here and there, they could have at least given us some tension. And another thing, there was really no shock factor when they revealed the killer. It was like, oh, it's him. Here's the reason. Well, that's f***ing stupid. At least in the original, Rebecca Hart killed people based off of urban legends because her boyfriend was killed by somebody f***ing around doing an urban legend. Like, it fit. What, he didn't win a f***ing award, so he has to kill people in order to get an award as a f***ing teacher? Who cares? Now, the biggest letdown of this movie for me was the movie that came next, and that's only because this movie led us to believe that the killers from part 1 and part 2 would team up in the 3rd installment. But nope, that didn't happen. So, in conclusion, would I recommend this movie? Again, this is a tough question, And I'm gonna say yes only because it's the second movie in a trilogy of films. So for collection reasons, yeah. And if you haven't seen this movie, I mean, yeah, go ahead and check it out. Why not? So with that being said, guys, I'm going to give this movie a 2.5 out of 5. And that's going to do it for me for today, guys. So remember, until next time, stay smart, stay clean, keep the dream, don't let the man get you down, because if he does, he may just screw us out of another franchise that could have been as big as Scream. But no, they had to f*** it up.